Today I'm making my super easy jackfruit barbecue. Now this can be for sandwiches, for tacos, for burritos, or put it over pasta. You'd be amazed. It's incredible. Comes out a lot like what you might remember as pulled pork. But since, we don't eat pork anymore, we had to come up with something unique that was kind of like it. You want to start with a can of green jackfruit. Now this one comes in brine. Make sure it's brine. This is a little more salty than I like, so I rinsed it off real good. Hopefully that gets rid of some of the sodium. So when I show you the macros, there'll be a little bit less sodium actually in it. And it comes looking something like that. It's kind of odd looking. It looks kind of like pineapple almost, I guess, maybe sort of. And what I do at this point is get it all in there. I just start breaking it up with my fingers. You want to get it to more or less like a shredded chicken or shredded pork consistency, sort of. The seeds, they are totally edible. We just eat them. Some people remove them. I mean, does it break the illusion? Sure, but I'm not really here to make a fake meat. I'm here because I want some good barbecue. Plain and simple. That's what I'm making this for. It's going to take me a few minutes to break this all up. Okay, so maybe 5 minutes. Jackfruit's done. Let me show you what that looks like. See, it has the texture of a shredded chicken or a shredded pork. So what we want to do now is get our burner going to medium-low heat. You don't want it too high. I am using a nonstick pan. You don't have to. I've done it stainless steel plenty of times. None of this is really going to stick unless it burns. So the jackfruit itself, I did not find this in my local store. I actually get it from Amazon. I do have a link in the description for the exact one that we use. We found this one to be great. It's not super cheap, I'll be honest with you, but it's actually quite effective. This is going to serve 4 people. So for Derek and I, this is 2 full meals out of this. Really not bad when you think about it. One thing you do want to keep in mind, this is not a protein replacement, okay? It may look like and act like a meat, but it's not protein. There's actually very little protein in this. Yeah, there's less than 1 gram of protein per serving. There's 3.5 servings. So even if it was 1 gram, there's only 3.5 grams of protein in the entire can, okay? Not a protein supplement. So you want to make sure that you have some beans or some other vegetable that has protein in it along with this. I very commonly will put black beans into this and use that in burritos or in tacos, and it works phenomenally well. That way you get your protein. I'm going to start putting this in, and you just want to get it all in there. Get it nice and spread around in the pan. We're heating it through. We're not so much cooking it because it doesn't really need to be cooked, but make sure you get green jackfruit. That's really important. Ripe jackfruit is very sweet and won't actually taste like this at all. Green jackfruit is very neutral flavored. It really doesn't carry much flavor of its own, so you can add all kinds of things to it, and it really does make it amazing. Now let's start adding our sauce. Now, this isn't a sauce that I make ahead of time and put in. I do it all in the same pan. It makes it a lot faster. So we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of ketchup. Now this just happens to be regular Heinz ketchup. I prefer to use either a low sodium or a low sugar, but I couldn't find any, so I'm just using regular ketchup. But it's a 1/4 cup, so that's a tablespoon per serving. When you're down that low, the differences are kind of minimal, in all honesty. This is where a silicone spatula comes in super handy. Lets you get every last drop. To that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of spicy brown mustard. Now, you can use the mustard of your choice. I just happen to like Gulden's spicy brown mustard. It is my favorite. You can hear that sizzle now, right? I'm going to give this a quick mix as soon as I get this in here. I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit so we don't burn anything. And just start mixing that through. Now, to this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of molasses. Blackstrap if you can get it. Dark is fine. Then we need a little bit of an umami flavor, okay? And I'm going to be using Tamari in this case, and this happens to be a low sodium version. So I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of that and pour that right in. A little bit of liquid smoke. This is about a 1/2 tablespoon of liquid smoke. The one of your choice, whichever one you like. This one happens to be hickory. It smells incredible. As soon as that hits the heat, you know you're making barbecue. And then we want to add a little bit of acid to this. And here I have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to pour that right in. And I'm playing with the heat a little bit to keep things sizzling. I don't want all that excess liquid. I want it to get soaked into the jackfruit. or dry up and concentrate the flavors. So you see the sizzling kind of stopped a little bit because all that liquid cooled down the pan. So just turn the heat up a little bit more and we get it back to sizzle. And now we're going to add in the rest of our seasonings. And that is about half a teaspoon of black pepper, freshly ground if you can, a tablespoon of onion powder, tablespoon of garlic powder. And this is something that not a lot of people put into barbecue sauce, but I actually really like it. And that's a tablespoon of chili powder. And I just mix that all through. Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano. The chili powder adds an extra bit of smokiness to it. And depending on the chili powder you use, if you use like chipotle, it adds a lot more smokiness and a little bit of heat. You can add whatever kind of hot sauces to this if you want. You can add like chili flake to it if you want. I tend to make a more sweet style, like a Sweet Baby Ray's style barbecue sauce. That's kind of what this tastes like, if you were curious. And it works pretty well for most barbecue needs. I have been known to chop up a jalapeno and throw it in here. You can make it however you want. The one thing that's super critical is the jackfruit, though. You really want the jackfruit, or else it's not really barbecue jackfruit. Now, at this point, some people like to get it a little crispy, all right? I don't like to do that, and there's a good reason. When you cook using methods like that and you get any browning in the food, you're actually creating compounds that are kind of not so healthy. So we tend to use more wet methods of cooking. Like this is actually steaming and frying right now without oil. We're not getting some of those compounds being formed. Just trying to spread it out a little bit, let it heat through. You can see it soaked up all that liquid. Looks like we are good to go here. At this point, I'll just cut the heat and it's done. Time to taste. Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo. Time to dig in and take a taste. I'm gonna blow on it because it's hot. I've been known to say, yes, this is hot, and then put it right in my mouth. So I'm gonna be careful so I don't burn myself on screen. Okay, so those that really like barbecue, this is going to be a great way to have a plant-based barbecue. This works great on sandwiches, in tacos, burritos, wraps, you name it. You can do a lot of things with this. The texture is similar to meat, okay? It's not exactly the same. You can put it on a plate and just have it as like a pulled pork kind of idea. It's not quite as convincing, okay? I'll just be totally honest. Very, very good, though. It does have a meaty-like texture going on. The flavors, though, they pair incredibly well with anything you would have barbecue with. I actually really like this in tacos. We did that the other day and it was just fantastic. And it's a quick 15-20 minute meal. You know, heat up a couple of tortillas, shred some cabbage, dice up a couple of tomatoes. You have dinner. Anyway, there you are. That's my barbecue jackfruit. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.